Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life. Hi, I'm Ann.
And I'm Kate. Let's get into it, Ann. What was your high this week?
I am going to flip it just a little bit and start with my low this week because it leads into my high. My low this week was that I was getting these headaches. I had told you about them, but I was having headaches and I just felt like it was all day, every day. I'm not somebody that has headaches very much. So it was affecting me and making me a little more concerned than just normal because it was going on about 3 weeks. So long story short, I'm fine. But my high is that I got this acupressure massage. And I had never had a massage that focused on the acupressure, and it is life-changing. It could be my obsession today.
Is it different from like a normal massage, or what was it like?
Yes. In fact, if you had asked me or told me about this type of massage before I had these headaches, I think I would have felt like it was a waste of time because it was almost just like pushing the pressure points that really were so hurt that I didn't realize, like tension. And then finding another spot on your arm or lower back or leg or hip at the same time, they would push those spots. It released tension. They would just hold it and almost just work it out slightly, but almost just to hold. And I was like in tears. It was hurting so bad, but in a good way, like it was like
hurt so good,
releasing the tension that I didn't even know was there. And I'm just going to now sell this for the rest of my life. I'm now acupressure, salesman. I'm going to tell everybody, but it was honestly, it was life-changing. It took the headaches away. I also stopped taking this creatine that I had just started supplement that I think was making me dehydrated. And I was chugging, 3 of these a day.
Yeah.
So I think there was other factors to the headaches, but I'm telling you, the acupressure was awesome. It was a game changer.
Interesting. Have you ever tried acupuncture?
No, I haven't. No, I've heard it's good too.
I haven't either.
Honestly, after this, I might be like, yeah, of course. I'll try it.
I'm curious about it. My husband grew up in Santa Cruz, which is cut different, but he used to do it as a kid, which I'm like, so weird. But he swears by it. He still does it from time to time. No, that's not the Indiana way.
I bet it's similar. I'm sure somebody will tell us differently if they hear this, but it seems like it's just about the same concept. Holding these pressure points, releasing the tension that you didn't know was there. And I honestly, I am not one that gets massages very often. It's kind of like an expense that I don't need to add. And now I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should prioritize this a little bit and try to get a massage on occasion because I didn't realize, I probably was sleeping on my neck weird. I have 3 kids. I was probably holding Lily in a funny way, just the stress of the business.
Creatine
and the
seemed
stress
unnecessary
of life.
from my perspective, but
yeah. One thing we always do, Phil and I always try stuff. And everybody was raving about creatine helping you with lean
everyone
body mass.
Everyone at the local CrossFit
the local gym or people we follow. I still think it's great for people. I'm not saying it's not, but it just, to me, I wasn't drinking enough water while I took that new supplement. And it was just, I got my blood work done and they were like, are your kidneys working right? You're severely dehydrated. I was like, ooh.
Honestly, I'm glad it wasn't something more serious.
Me too.
A headache. I don't know. I kind of go to the worst place. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
you have a brain tumor or something horrible.
No,
so
of course. We've talked about my anxiety. Of course I went there immediately, actually. but it was just, I don't get many headaches. And for 3 weeks I had this ongoing headache. And at first I was like, it's parenting. My kids are driving me nuts. Of course I have a headache. And then it was like, I had a glass of wine last night, probably age and wine. And then it was like, the stress of work. Anyways, you could equate it to everything. But I do love, though, I went to the doctor and she was like, well, it might be a little stress related too. Tell me about your life. And I was like, well, I have 3 kids, 2 dogs. I'm starting a business. I was just rattling it off. And she's like, I think it's probably that.
Yeah, it's probably your chaotic life. No, it's just
probably
when you get sick. I mean, and this was like debilitating. I talked to you a few days and you were suffering, but it's like life does not stop.
No.
It is just miserable. Like the power through when all you want to do is like go into fetal position. Brutes.
Totally. Well, and my 6-year-old Lola is so sweet. So I would, kind of, you could tell I was like squinting.
Is that
she is sweet. She's fiery and sweet. She's like a Sour Patch Kid. She's sour, then she's sweet. In these moments, though, she was sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell her aunt said that about her. We were laying down, and she would be like, kind of like, "Oh, mommy has a headache," rub my head for a moment, and then it would flip to her screaming and wanting something. Can you get me this? Can you get me that? So it was. There's just the reality of parenting. There is no. You can just relax and try to recover.
No.
That makes sense.
Well, I'm glad that the low crescendoed there.
Yeah, it ended on a high.
Good ending. Good ending.
I am going to be promoting this masseuse, and is that what you say?
I'm going to try it. Masseuse. I'm going to try. Masseuse.
Yeah.
I love a massage. Well, you know me. It's like, I believe that's like, you work at a computer all day. I start to get like a hunchback. It's like, I gotta.
Right.
I'm kind of a monthly massage person. I don't know if it's like old sports things that like worked back in the day, and now I still think I'm an athlete, but I'm not. But yeah, I like play some tennis. I curl up with horrible posture on my computer. It's like I feel like my neck gets really tight if I don't do it semi-frequently.
Yeah. I really think it's great, and it's an added expense that sometimes gets cut early, but I'm going to try to weasel it back in. I'm going to like maybe not get iced coffee every day and put that towards a massage once a month.
Well, you need to find like a good Asian place that's like $1 a minute or less.
Yeah.
Because that's about how much I want to pay for it. And they're great. They're fine. The women are incredibly talented. They're not afraid to climb all over you. And it's like, good, get it, girl. Like,
love it. That place in Santa Monica. Remember, I would take you to that place in Santa Monica for the Thai massage, and it was amazing. They would do like a bizarre foot bath. Well, it was like kind of like a bath foot massage, but then they would pull on you in ways that you're kind of like, what is this right? Are you trained? And then it would be like, I believe it.
It's like the chiropractor a little bit. It's like, could be good, could be weird, and all of a sudden you're like contorting.
It's like anything else. The first time you try it, you have like one eye open, like, is this right? You're looking around like, is this what everybody's doing? Is this normal? Are you supposed to be doing this? And then like the second time you're like, oh yeah, this is great. This is the best thing that's ever happened. I'm an expert.
Totally.
Go with the weird just because it feels
glad
good.
You swung out of that. Glad you swung out of that.
Well, I've done my high and low now. So what's your high, low in whatever order you choose?
I'll go high. I'll go regular order. Okay. My son, Calvin, had his 6th birthday. And I don't know. I think, especially at this age, it's just like such a big deal for him. Mm-hmm. And we had a party on Sunday. And not to make this about me, but let's make it about me. I did a great job hosting this party in a way that was still fun for me. And part of it was I threw a little more money at it than usual, like with catering versus trying to make the food. But I threw a previous party and it was like, I felt like it was expensive to buy all the food from Costco. And then I'm not a great chef, so it was a little bit stressful for me. And then as the morning of, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I just was like, ooh, that was gross. And when you make the food, you're always, do we have enough? I don't know. Even during the party, I was like so distracted by making sure the spread was correct. So I catered it. I made sure we had enough food. I basically said, fuck it and let it be what it was. And I sat down, ate my food, talked to my friends. I would say the other thing that made this party particularly fun is Cal's still at the age where I kind of go, how about these people at your party? And he's like,
right.
Great.
It's not so many people. It's like
it's not like I want to invite the whole group. Class just yet. Right. So I was able to just invite like a handful of families that I wanted to hang out with. And that made it great too. It was like a party for me that happened to be his birthday, but very successful. We did it Lego themed, which was a real hit. Like, he's a real builder, and we have a pool. So we did a pool party, Lego party.
Did you actually set up Legos outside?
Not outside. It was too hot, but inside, we had 2 different Lego stations and like some kits that they could do, but they got everywhere, but that's fine. The other thing that I did is I hired a lifeguard.
Oh my gosh, you didn't tell me that. That's brilliant.
It was a high schooler. It was $20 an hour for 3 hours. So I paid $60. But again, the peace of mind for me,
100%,
with kids going in and out of the pool, like it made it actually enjoyable. And again, that's one of the things I would have been constantly like head on a swivel about at your own place. So
when you're hosting or even going to a pool party when the kids are that age, it's no bueno. Like I always have this I can't relax feeling around a pool with that many kids, because you always think somebody's watching the kids. That's just always the mistake that happens. So that's awesome. You didn't tell me you did that. Good call.
Crushed it. Good party. Yeah. He felt great about it. Like, we got through the weekend. It's always like a lot going on, but we made it through, and he was happy with everything, and I felt great about it.
He's just, the more he's getting older, he's growing out of his shell, and it's the coolest thing to see. It's so cute.
I know.
So I'm glad he had a good party.
Because he's my baby, and my baby being 6 is like, you have no babies. Like,
well, we added Lily the 3rd, but I was going back for Cal's birthday, I was getting like hit with these pictures, and it was bringing me back to the feels of when you and I were on maternity leave at the same time with Cal and Lo. And Phil and I took our kids up there and stayed at your place in San Francisco or I guess Oakland at the time. When did we stay? 2 months? We stayed for like a full 2 months.
At least
6 I can't remember. It was great. And there's only a few people in life that you can do that with. And I'm sure at the end you were ready to get rid of us, but it was delightful. We kind of did our own thing most of the time. But when we were sitting there, you and I, like breastfeeding or just being with the kids at that time, it was like so cool.
I felt so lucky that it lined up like that. And I have nothing but good memories. I'm sure at the moment there were pinchy moments, but I can't remember any of them. I have nothing but rose-tinted glasses thinking back about that maternity leave.
I agree. I loved it. And I got hit with some pictures, and it was like, that was a good time. We would sit in your back porch.
Does that feel like 6 years ago? Yikes.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. That's what scares me about time. They always say it's cliche. It's like kids make you feel older because you feel about the same, and they just keep getting older, and they're so tall now, and they look like their own little people. And it's so cool to see them grow up, but at the same time, it does make me emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that was my high. My low was that Sunday, which was the day of the party, was also my 11-year anniversary. And I woke up, Chris says to me, happy anniversary, baby. And I was like, I totally forgot.
You had forgotten.
I totally, I think because I was hosting a party that was like all consuming for me.
Right.
But
did you play it off or did he know?
I just apologized. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. Like, I just totally forgot. I was feeling so bad. He let me feel bad for like a couple minutes before he goes, your older sister texted, and I just saw it before you did. I had totally forgot too.
I love it. Leave it to Sarah to remember your anniversary before 100%. You and Chris. That's so 100%. Sweet.
Thanks, Sarah.
Hilarious. Yeah.
But I was also just like having a reflective, like, low point of like, you didn't even remember your own wedding anniversary, which,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not great.
It's one of those points, in motherhood where you're like, what am I focusing on? And like, is my marriage getting enough? Are my kids getting enough? And I did have this moment where I was like, okay, time to recalibrate just a little bit back over to the marriage, because
fill the bucket of the marriage bucket a little bit more.
So we decided that we'd go on a date sometime in the next month. and call it an anniversary dinner.
Isn't that the truth? Well, you and I we
give people, so I didn't care about that, but I did. Usually, I at least know about it and have a sweet
plan an experience,
or have a date lined up.
So it's funny. All three of us sisters have anniversaries within the same week, essentially, and so it's cool. We all have anniversaries. So Phil and I had our anniversary as well, and I'm the opposite of you, and I'm a one-upper. It's kind of tough to be married to me, but like I won't let him forget. I was planting the seed of what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You plan the dinner for 2 weeks at least. It's like, our anniversary is coming up. What do you think? And so I kind of put him on. We've kind of halted gifts, kind of said like, we don't need to do gifts all the time. Like, let's just like have an experience. Let's get a babysitter. Let's go to dinner. Let's do something. So I was like, you find the dinner and you book it. And that's kind of like your gift to me.
Why am I nervous about his pick?
No, it was great. We ended up going to like we always pick a steak restaurant. It feels fancy to us. And that's just kind of what we like to eat. So we had like the best tuna tartare and steak and dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives. It was great. We knocked it out of the park. Our buddy's actually staying with us. So he was our babysitter for free, which was clutch too.
Oh, huge.
And it was so nice. And the kids survived. So it was great. And we just had the best time. But like, we're like, no gifts, no gifts. And then I always hit him with a card and like a tiny gift. He's always like, we said no gifts. And I'm like, it just makes me feel better to have something.
Oh, you are the worst. I know, that's terrible.
But I want him to have it. It was real small.
You don't give him the psychological safety of saying no gifts. You always make that like on the edge then.
Yeah. But it was like under $20. It wasn't an expensive
What'd you get him? All right, let me be the judge.
Well, it was kind of a joke too. I love foot massages and make him give me foot massages. We do it at the same time. So when the kids go to bed, we'll watch TV and massage each other's feet. This is my dream.
Wait a second. A 69 foot massage?
Kind of, except it's not as weird as it sounds. I mean, we just face each other on the couch and both massage each other's feet while watching TV.
No, how can you focus? That's horrible.
It's my dream. Because everybody knows that if the person goes first, never gets the massage. Like it never finishes on the person who's given the massage first. Never. So same time. We're same timers.
That sounds
weird. I love it. He does it because he loves me. And every time we actually do give a gift, his is some version of a foot massage because he's trying to get away from that. He's trying to get me to have like an automatic foot massager so I don't ask him to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I found this inexpensive put your feet in slippers. The slippers are massagers for him that I thought was kind of hilarious and cute. And it was inexpensive. So it was kind of like.
What was his reaction? Was he like, I love it? Or he was like, oh, I didn't get you anything?
Well, a little of both, which again makes me feel kind of like, well, I guess you just owe me, I'm more thoughtful,
You're the worst.
At least
and then you'll be the one using that gift anyways.
I mean, 100%. Well, only because he won't do it as often as we used to. It's like the beginning, we've been married for 8 years now. First 2 years, we did that foot massage cuteness all the time. Now it's like, very few and far between.
100%. I was just thinking not to like start dogging on my wonderful marriage. I cannot remember the last time I even got a regular massage. I mean, foot massage, you're dreaming, but like even a back massage.
Well,
can't
used
recollect.
He used to be like, oh, of course, let's do that. I'll be like, do you want to do feet? And he'd be like, yeah, of course. And now it's kind of like, I ask him like, hey, do you want to do feet? And he's like, do you just not like to relax? That's his comment now.
Oh, gaslight.
It's less cute. Yeah, it's less cute.
Less cute.
Less cute.
I feel a little one-upped that you remembered your anniversary and crushed it. So
yeah.
You're winning.
Sorry.
You're winning.
Yeah.
I'm losing.
I'm winning. I'm also winning in the present game with my husband, so he owes me. So check.
Sounds healthy.
Yeah. Totally healthy.
All right, let's get into the meat of the episode.
You're picking the topic today.
My pick. Obviously, with Sage parents, we like to talk a lot about like setting a boundary around screen time and having it not be 6 to 9 hours a day as part of the ethos of what a healthy relationship with tech looks like. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to kind of go on the other side of it today and say, what are the TV shows, or I guess it could be video games too or whatever, but like what entertainment do you do with your kids and your husband that like feel like good bonding experiences?
Healthy?
Like what's the healthy side of this on your side?
That's a great topic. I love it.
Okay. You got any to kick it off?
Let's see. To kick it off, I have a couple. I'm kind of like firing all cylinders now, thinking about some of the stuff we do. Because I do firmly believe that I don't like our kids on iPads. Like, I don't love screen time. It is necessary, but also there is some bonding. Like, it goes with what I was just talking about. Like Phil and I doing feet and watching TV together. We have screen time, but it's kind of like, a bond. So we do that with our kids. So I have talked about this before, but the first thing that comes to mind is we have gotten our family, kids included, into Survivor together. And you and I love Survivor. It's a great show. I watch it by myself. Yeah, you watch it by yourself. I have gotten into it. I mean, what are we on? 35, 40 seasons now? I can't remember.
Way past
so
that.
many.
46, baby. We're about to head into 47.
So I would say I got into it around 30 something. Like I'm fairly new to the Survivor game. And I have gone back to kind of watch some episodes and stuff. But we got the kids involved and they are into it. They love a little competition. It's fun to like, the strategy of it when they're picking who they're going to vote off is like kind of got my kids talking. We have favorites. So it's not on currently, but when it is, it's so charming to have that like one night a week where we watch Survivor.
I might try to make that more of a family thing. Chris doesn't love it, which is part of, I wish he was excited about it too.
Right.
And that's crucial. I'm such a nerd on it that I don't like to wait the day because it comes out kind of late on Wednesday nights. And it's like, I want to watch it that night. My kids are already asleep.
It is we record it and watch it like Thursday or Friday.
The next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
but I do think mine are getting to the age where they would be super into it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know Grace and Colin would love it because Ace and Lola are very similar ages and they really get into it. And Ace loves the strategy of it. Lola likes it. And she actually, sometimes I feel like we'll be sitting there and I feel like she's distracted or something. She loves to color. So she'll always be like sitting there coloring while we're doing stuff. And I think she's not retaining it. And then she'll be like, say something super brilliant from the corner that like I had no idea she was listening to. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of fun. And Lily just kind of plays while we watch it. And truthfully, she goes to bed by 7. So sometimes we even like put her down in the middle of it and finish watching it with the 2 older ones. But it's kind of like, it's like the pizza night sometimes we do. I know other families do that. We'll make popcorn. We like make it a thing. Like we'll make popcorn. You guys can have milk and we,
I like the ritual around it too. I think that like makes it feel more special.
Yeah. 100%. I did see something. I don't even know where it was. It makes me laugh every time because it is true. It's like, as a child, my family used to do pizza nights on Friday, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And now I just realized as a parent, my parents were just tired. I wonder if this has that, like, energy where it's like, I'm just exhausted. Watching a TV show with the kids sounds great, but it's
they feel like popcorn is like a, popsicle.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like that vibe around it. It feels like a treat.
Yeah. We also have one of those popcorn poppers. We got it. Oh yeah, it's like
a popcorn machine.
A popcorn, not like the big machine, but like a small plug-in popper.
I was imagining like the wheels and the red.
No, not that. But like you pour in your seeds and it pops. And we got it for our wedding.
Is it a whole appliance to pop popcorn?
Yes. But it's small, so you can store it. It was like $30. And it could be my obsession. It's not, but we use it all the time. And is awesome. It's so much better popcorn. And then you pour your own butter over it.
It's better than the bag.
1,000%. And healthier for you. And then we use real Irish butter to pour over it, so I'm not sure that's healthy, but it is delicious.
Okay. That sounds pretty compelling. I like the ritual of it. And even the popping of it, I imagine, could be cute.
Yeah.
Do I need another kitchen appliance?
We always say this, and the answer is yes.
We have a similar one. So like I said, I don't watch Survivor with the kids, but I do watch Amazing Race with them. And
similar, yeah.
Again, Chris can't handle it. He doesn't love a competition show. We're total opposites. We could be more different.
They do move a little fast in Amazing Race, and your husband is a slow mover in general. He just likes to move
he's slow, and also he gets travel anxiety because he's a control freak. So if someone else has to fly the plane, that's not his happy place. He's like, I can't even watch this on TV. It gives me anxiety. He has to go into the other room. He can't watch Amazing Race.
He can't even watch it. That's hilarious.
No, he's like, this is my hell. But the kids and I watch it.
Yeah.
And one thing I think is so stinking cute, Cal has a globe and he runs upstairs to bring his globe down. And then we look for the spot.
So cute.
I know. And it's one of those, I forget, it's like VTech or whatever, but you like touch the country with the pen and it tells you about it. So like,
oh, nice.
That adds a little something to it all. Yeah. And then he turns around. Did you know? And I just heard the globe tell him, but it's still cute.
The best.
And then it also has the challenges. And they get up and they try to do them, or they, it's like kind of a interactive thing that they're doing most of the time. So I think that's cute.
I think we should probably incorporate that, and you incorporate Survivor, because it's not on all the time. So it's nice to have, like, we have a lull right now. So maybe I could go back to an old season of Amazing Race or something with my kids.
Well, that's the thing. The old seasons are great too. And
yeah,
I don't know who won. It's fun.
What is a show that Chris would get involved in? Does he have one that you would watch with the kids?
Okay. I don't think I'm winning any parenting awards for this, but it was one that Chris liked and the kids liked. Have you seen The Mole on Netflix?
No, but so funny you said that. At our family reunion, one of our cousins brought this show up and was like, if you like Survivor with the kids, I think I've said that to them too. They were like, The Mole, you got to check out The Mole.
Well, that's where I got it. So that recommendation, and there were 2 seasons out by the time we went and looked. So we have probably in the last couple months, like, ripped through 2 seasons of The Mole.
And would you recommend?
You know what? Let me look on Common Sense Media. Let me see. I don't think it's recommended for just based on the.
Is there anything like glaring that's come up that's like, ooh, let's fast forward?
It's definitely got some topics that even I was like, ooh.
You're pot committed at that point.
Oh, I have to pay? I don't
for Common Sense Media? I thought it was free.
I did too.
I think it is.
Maybe I've looked at it so much for Sage stuff. It says unlock unlimited access. Interesting. Okay, I'll consider that. I'll look later at The Mole. My gut says it's going to be like 13 plus, because I think they cuss in it and stuff. It's like normal people reality TV.
14 plus, you're right. You must have researched it because this came up right away for me.
No, I just guessed. Okay.
I love this. The word damn and piss are used a lot.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Those are odd ones.
But okay, so I kind of blame you for this too. My kids always love Creature Cases, which is actually a very cute kid show. They liked that cute. Like a couple years ago. And Cal still likes it. But Grace has sort of aged out of that. Now, and I think she got it from Ace, but she likes The Investigators.
No, Investigators. Yes, Investigators. I was actually going to bring this up because it is a cute show.
Investigator.
Yeah, it's investigators who are best friends. Investigators. It's been around for a while, I think, but it is. Okay. What are you about to say? I love it.
No, I think it's super cute. I don't sit there and watch that one with her. I can hear the little accents, and I go, "Oh, okay. I know that's a cute one."
Yeah.
But she's very into sleuthing. So like spy stuff. One like super cute thing she started doing with the neighbor girl who's in 4th grade is they created a alphabet decoder with their own language, and they leave each other notes.
What? Hilarious.
And then they have to like look at their key to like decode the message.
Good for her. That feels advanced.
Does it? Well, she loves the like whodunit of it all. So the mole scratches that itch. So she's there with me. I think Cal just likes to be around the women in his life. But Grace and I are like, oh, it's totally that guy. Look how suspicious he is. And then, of course, she's like starting the new language. She's like, totally sus. Totally sus.
That language.
It's just like so funny. It's just, the mole is actually, if you can get by the language, and a couple, like 2 of them in the last season, like started almost dating and like were kissing on the screen. You know, I mean, it has some plot lines that's like, but if I watch it with them,
talk through it. I mean, honestly, the cussing thing is in songs too. We have discussions about that all the time with songs because like my kids love to play music. They get that from Phil. And I'm like, don't add one more noise in this house. And they love it. So of course we're adding noise. But they've got cuss words in there. We try to play the clean versions, but you know, it's like we just have a discussion. Like these are not words you're allowed to repeat. If you ever repeat it, you're never allowed to hear, listen to this again. And I always love the threat of like, what you do outside this house, I can't control you getting in trouble. If you cuss at school, you're in big time trouble and I can't protect you. The threat
it's funny
of
you
that
should
gets
take
them every
cussing.
time.
So it was a couple months ago, this summer, but they really fell in love with that song. And I don't know where they heard it, but Shut Up and Dance. And they think shut up is a cuss word because I don't let them.
Oh, yeah.
So shut up and dance with me. I'll stop. But, and they were like, can we say it? Can we say it? Can we say it? So, and Grace was always trying to figure out what were cuss words. And she was so inquisitive, like painfully inquisitive, where I skirted it and tried to kind of scoot it under the rug as long as I could. But she was really grinding me on it.
Right.
So I decided without much forethought, it was just coming at me and I just like made something up on the fly. But I was like, well, there's 3 levels of cuss words. There's the level 1, which you're not allowed to say any of these levels, but some cuss words are worse than other cuss words. Right. So shut up is a level 1. So it's okay if we're singing it in a song. And, if you hear someone say that, it's not good, but it's not as bad as some of the other ones.
Right.
And then I didn't realize how many she knew. And then she started, what is shit? What is bitch? What is fuck? I'm like, she knew like, more than I thought. I was like, that's alarming.
They're not
so we went through them and I rated them. Those are level 3. We talked about like if you're saying it at someone, like hell. If you're saying like go to hell and you're pointing it at someone, now that's a higher level than if hell is in a song.
Right.
And it's not directed at someone. So anyways, I came up with this 3-tiered thing and she really sunk her teeth into it. So every day now she comes home and says, Jackson on the playground had 2 level 2s and a level 3. And I was just like, we're taking this so, it's like I came up with it on the fly and now it's like her Bible.
Now it's Bible. I love it though. I might take it. The kids just hear this stuff anywhere. So I just feel like it goes with like, you just have to have a conversation about it and figure out what your comfort level is as a household. But Ace came back. This was a couple months ago, but I remember it like yesterday. And he was outside playing with some neighborhood boys and they're a little bit older. And he came back to dinner and he was like, I have a joke for you. And we were like, oh, great, cute. They're usually like so silly. And he was like, what are D's? And we were like, what? And he was like, what are D's? And he was like pointing, I don't even know where, like down. And I was like, what? And he was like, D's nuts. And I laughed out loud. He pulled a D's nuts joke. And I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Also hilarious. Also, I don't want you to know that I thought that was as funny as I did.
Right.
So I was like,
this is the blessing and the curse of like older cousins, neighborhood friends that are like, the older siblings, like the exposure, you learn a lot more for sure.
Yeah. They get more independence.
I get a little frustrated. I do get frustrated though that like I'll go on Spotify and search for clean versions to put on their playlist. Right. And half of them still have a ton of cuss words in there. It's like, I do kind of wish there was an option that was actually clean lyrics.
Right.
And it's not like I don't think they're going to hear it. And it's not like,
well, it's like Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, all of them have cuss words in their songs. So it is what it is. I kind of think it's just like try to do the clean versions and like talk about it. That's what we do. But they're going to get
well, and that's like generally a good strategy for everything. It's like avoid it as much as you can. Like block it, porn or any of it. It's like, let's actually try to avoid. Right. And we need to educate because something's going to slip through the cracks. Like it's impossible to think you're not going to see this at a friend's or whatever. But cuss words is definitely one of those. And like I actually I'm blaming it on sports. I don't know. I have a potty mouth for sure. So like, I'll be cooking, I'll run something. Shit. Grace goes, level 2. I was like, sorry, I meant shoot.
I just love, my 2-year-old repeats everything, doesn't know it. But, we're in the car driving and we're on speakerphone with mom, who's pretty conservative, and Lily's back there saying something. She's like, what did she say? I was like, we can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. And it's shit. She's like repeating shit on repeat. I'm like, it's undetectable. We got to work on our language. I'm like blaming her. And she's saying it perfectly clear,
Oh my God, hilarious.
Yeah. Going back to the more things that I like for the kids. I know you're going to laugh because I've been pushing this on you for a while, but we have Tonys too, which I kind of put in the content category. And they're like a little speaker box that you put in their room. Mm-hmm. And they have these little figurines that are either stories or songs. And some of them are educational. And so like we have the National Geographic one, for instance, that Ace is obsessed with, or the astronaut one. Mm-hmm. There's one about the ocean. And, they go in there and listen to either a story. Sometimes it's a song for Lola, like songs on repeat from a movie, or it's this education, and he'll rattle off stuff about humpback whales. I'm like, what? Where'd you get that information? And it's from the Tonys. So I think that's kind of, I'm
gonna give it. So I bought one
on their own too. They can go upstairs and do that on their own. Key.
Right. Love the ideas of Tonys. A buddy of mine runs it. Want to support him. We bought one. I think we don't have necessarily the right Tonys that really engage them. Like I got one that like teaches them Spanish. They're not into it.
Yeah.
One that's like a story. And I think like anything, we have to like cultivate the habit of it. Yeah. And I need to set it out and kind of make it cute or something. But we have one. They like it every once in a while. We haven't really built it into the culture of playtime here, but I do like them. I'm like fully supportive of the vibe. It's great. Like not screen time. I love audiobooks for the kids. Like they have to listen.
It's similar. It's like the same thing. Yeah, totally. As a story.
Totally. No, it's awesome.
The little figurines are like $8 to $12 or something. And so it's a good gift for people too. So they don't have to spend a lot, but they know that they like Tonys. And so my mother-in-law that's become her thing. And so we now have every Tony imaginable. I feel like each of them have a little carrier case called their Tonys.
Shoot some over here.
I know I will. Maybe that's what, we'll put the bug in mom's ear or something. But we just keep getting them. So for every holiday or birthday, she adds a Tony to their gift, or that will be their gift. It's cute. And sometimes she'll just randomly send them because she gets hit with like the new ones that came up. Mm-hmm. And so we have so many, and they have their favorites, but I will say it's been a big crowd pleaser, and it pushes them to a little bit more independent play, or just being upstairs, hanging out a little bit by themselves, and it gets them off the iPad. But, Ace, pivoting from the Tonys, Ace is really into an iPad game called Rivals, which is like a football game.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I'm okay with it. You can't talk to anybody on there. He's competing against the computer, I guess.
What's the common sense rating on it?
That's a good question. Let me see. I find it though, he's super into it, and that is his like, if you want to do rivals, you have to do these things. Mm-hmm. You know, it's become our little like.
Well, they're at the age, like, based on all of our interviews, like 8, 9 are big time video game entry years. So it's like really 7, 8, 9. But I was doing the research. I was a little surprised. 90% of kids play video games. That was higher than I thought it was going to be.
It's super high, but having a boy, I see it. We come from a family of girls. That was never really what we did growing up.
We had a Nintendo though. I remember playing Guts and
I do remember Guts. Yeah. I do remember that. This, it's not coming up. I'll have to.
Huh. Okay.
But it seems
a football game. It seems fine.
Yeah, it's like a football game on the iPad. It looks like there's one that says 8+. I think that's the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of in that 8 to 10 range for the game. But yeah, I think it's just, it gives them a little bit of it, but not so much. So, but like Phil will go upstairs. We now have, I'm going to say this wrong. He's going to laugh at me. It's not Nintendo because that's what we have. But we have some kind of like system
PlayStation,
upstairs.
Xbox.
It's Xbox. Yeah. That says how much I know about games.
Switch.
It's Xbox, and they will do like different basketball and football games. It's almost all sports oriented, and there's a golf one, and they'll play it together.
Phil will play with him.
Yeah, I mean Phil's almost worse than Ace.
So cute.
I think it's cute, and they don't play very long, and it's definitely like a bonding experience for both of them. And they'll do it, and we're talking once a week, if that, and they'll do it for like an hour. So it's not much, but they do. He does love it.
The video games, I mean, you learn problem solving skills if you're playing socially, with your dad or a friend. It's like you learn to work together. You learn to communicate. I actually think that video games can be amazing. I also think video games have a little bit of that like interactive hookiness that's like hard to get off of. So it's like creates a little bit of a boundary,
and it's just a slippery slope because, and it's hard because then if they go to other people's houses, and it's rare that they do a play date without me right now. Not that I'm like opposed to it. It's just not happening a ton because we have a neighborhood where everybody's just outside playing and they're like kind of doing their thing. But like we'll go to like a cousin's house or something and they'll be playing, and it's a game I don't want them to see. And it's like, I don't want you even looking at somebody else playing that game. And like a Fortnite type, and it's like, so I kind of draw the line with like, you can't even be in the room watching people play Fortnite, but like you can dabble with the sports. But, it's coming my way. He's just a little young, and I have the ability to say no a little bit easier right now. So
I do love the idea, though, that if you have a play date where someone's coming over to your house, you're not on screens. Like, it's such a good time to like get outside, or even if you're in the playroom, build a fort or do something. So it's like save the screen time for when you kind of need it to fill some gaps in like, I don't know. I just feel like, and I know people will say, I love video games. I want to play with you. That's our whole thing. And it's like, I get it. In moderation, it's fine. But I like the idea that playtimes are no screens. And then the other mom doesn't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's like.
Totally. You don't have to have that awkward conversation. And it's also the time, I mean, selfishly, get your energy out. We set this play day up so you can get your energy out. Don't sit inside and like just do different things that are fun. And even when it's raining, I love it. I don't have this issue right now with my children, but again, maybe it's just because of age and they're a little younger. But Ace will play his little golf putt-putt upstairs or his little basketball hoop forever with a friend up there. And yes, they kind of wrestle in his room, looks crazy after they're done, but it's like kind of cool. And it's not screens. It's like, do that. And Lola colors away. We got our little art table for her 6th birthday. So she's up there coloring and doing everything. And do I find marks all over her bedspread or all over the wall? Yeah, I do. But is it worth it because she's doing coloring? Sure. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. And Grace is into gymnastics. So I'm like, why don't you and Cece go, work on your back walkovers together? And like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just much prefer the no screen playtimes when you can. Totally. Okay. My last show, which is not really a show, but sports. The Olympics were a great, like, whole family watching moment. We've been watching a lot of, it started really, I would say, last football season and then basketball season. We followed the Warriors, and the kids started to watch it and get into it. And that's something Chris will watch. I will watch. Like, the whole family watches. We talk about it. I just, they get to watch what greatness looks like. I love it. I will say one of my proudest moments, we were watching a lot of women's college basketball last year and WNBA. And then we had a Warriors game on this summer, and Grace goes, I didn't know they let the boys play on TV too. And I was like,
how awesome. You've done your job.
Chris looked at me and just like shook his head. He's like, but I was very proud of that. But hilarious. I'd say we watch a lot of sports together, and I'm making him watch the US Open now, the tennis.
Yeah.
And we watched it actually last night a little bit, and it was so cute.
Are they getting into that?
They think the ball girls and boys are so funny, and it is, how they scramble.
No, they're aggressive. So they dart across.
My children are basically dogs, but last night I was like throwing tennis balls, and they were scurrying around acting like they were like the ball kids to see if they were ready for that role. It was actually pretty funny. But it's like stuff like that comes up when you're watching 100%. Live sports.
Yeah. We love live sports over here. The attention span through a whole game is tough, but we still love it. We like going to sports games. But I will say, this year I'm excited because Ace is doing fantasy football with us in a league, like a neighborhood family kids thing.
He's playing on his own or with you?
Yes, he's playing on his own. His name is Ace in Your Face.
Oh my God, Deb.
I thought that was great. And so Lola is on my team. She's not really playing, but we wanted her to feel included. But I think they'll be more
into. Does Ace actually know the like player level to do picks?
In detail. He's a little Phil.
Interesting.
Yeah, he and Phil talk all the time about sports, and it's really cool. But he knows a lot, actually. It's impressive.
Okay.
So he's into it. We had a draft like last Sunday with the neighborhood kids, and it was pretty cute. So
cute. We'll see. Yeah, I love that.
I also am obsessed
we're running with a little bit long. Oh, you got another one? Sorry.
Well, one more. Hard Knocks and those shows. Sometimes those are a little bit, you have to kind of see the episode to see like if it's all appropriate. But for the most part, it's just about like, I think the worst thing is cussing, but it follows like this time was the Chicago Bears preseason. And it's a really cool way for the kids to kind of get into the sport a little bit and see the behind the scenes, and players get cut.
That's funny. I've never seen Hard Knocks. I don't know why. I love
You would be obsessed with it. It's so good.
I just haven't done it.
Yeah. All right. Get on it.
Moved up my list.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get to the final
obsessions
of our podcast. Obsessions. What do you got? You got anything good this week?
I do. I've been waiting and sitting on this one for a little bit. And I know that you said you will not allow yourself to buy athleisure right now because you've overdone it. But I'm promoting this brand from Target called All in Motion, and they have sweatshirts. I just went there last week to pick up, of course, something that has nothing to do with clothes, and then I'm in that section. But 100%. They have sweatshirts and like matching like sweat skirts and sweatpants, but I'm into the skirt right now.
Little sets, matching
little sets, and they look exactly like Lululemon, and they are $25.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's a Lou dupe.
It's a Lou dupe. And they're great. And it's that material that's nice. In fact, I was wearing one yesterday because it hit 60 on the way to the school bus. And I love fall. So I'm like already in a sweatshirt, sweating bullets. But already somebody was like, oh my gosh, I love that new Lulu sweatshirt. And I was like, so like, it's Target.
You didn't tell them.
Like, you did. I mean, it was like a close friend. It was like, I'm also one of those people that you give me a compliment and I immediately am like, oh, it's so old. This outfit's so old. Or, oh, it's Target. Like I'm immediately like balance the compliment with something to make it lower. I don't know.
Well, that's the Midwest in you. That's the stereotype, is like you either have to say how much of a discount you bought it on, or
100%.
Play it down 100%. Funny.
Yeah. Oh, this $25.
Totally. I do think All in Motion is the underwear brand that I buy Grace. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Because I know you recommended.
I bought it for Lola. And actually,
she is obsessed with them. The material is great.
It's great. I didn't actually correlate that until just now. I'm not like maybe I am. Maybe I'm going to be selling All in One Motion and acupressure massages for the rest of my life. But
you better get the name right then. It's not All in One Motion, I don't think. I think it's All in Motion, isn't it?
All in Motion. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I gotta tighten that up.
Come on.
All in Motion.
Yeah, tighten it up if you're going to be an influencer.
Yeah. Okay, what is your obsession? I do think
it's great. My obsession is, do you do on your iPhone lock screen the photo shuffle? And every time you pick it up, like a different picture shows up?
100.
I am obsessed with it. I was thinking about like, what are the little things that I have not purchased that have brought me joy? That photo shuffle, it just brings up memories throughout my day when I'm not expecting it in the most delightful way possible.
Yes, it is. That's a great one. I actually have it. I just switched it off because I was trying to do something for work. So I made my screen black to take a screen capture. Okay. But it is I usually have it on, and it reminds me to go put mine back on because I switched it like 2 weeks ago to do those videos. But it is charming, and you get hit with the great pictures, and I don't know, those are cool. I love the memory. And I think
around my kids' birthdays, I get a little more sentimental because look what he was one. Oh, you're kind of going through the journey, but. Right. This week in particular, just the cutest photos have popped up. It's just been like a moment of levity throughout my day. All parents out there, put on the photo shuffle, do people, and only pick your kids. Maybe I should pick Chris too, going back to our marriage. But I just have my kids show
fill
up.
That bucket. Fill that bucket.
Fill that bucket. Fill it. And it brings me so much joy. So that's my final thing.
I love it. That's great.
All right, let's wrap it up. We got real work to do.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Lilas.